You can see yourself through the eyes of someone else because you don't feel like you any longer, right? You can notice how you've been acting for the last 20 years, the choices you've been making, and you can look at the feelings that you've been feeling your entire life. And I think that is the moment we become conscious of our unconscious self, which is for the most part programmed of who we are in terms of our attitudes, our beliefs, our perceptions, our unconscious habits and behaviors, and our kind of redundant and automatic emotional responses, right? So 95% is subconscious, right? So the first step is becoming conscious of the unconscious self, and that's not comfortable because you got to light a match in a dark place and you got to come up against yourself, right? And so on some level, they broke the habit of being themselves, and they realized that the emotions that they were living by really weren't loving to them. The anger, the resentment, they were just like, I can't hold on to this any longer. And I think the stronger the emotion we feel towards some past event or some circumstance in our life, the more we pay attention to it, right? And where you place your attention is where you place your energy. And you're managing your attention and energy to some person or some circumstance or some past event, you're giving your power away, right? So build your field, take your power back, take your attention off that person, overcome the emotion. You free your body from the past because the emotion really is just a record of the past. So I saw that the majority of the emotions that these people were living by, that they changed, were the emotions that were derived from the hormones of stress. And when you're living in stress, you're living in survival and anger and aggression and hatred and jealousy and envy and insecurity and fear and anxiety and worry and vigilance and hopelessness and powerlessness and guilt and shame and unworthiness and entitlement, importance, control, competition. They're all derived really and driven by these hormones of stress. And so turns out that it's really hard to stop feeling those emotions because they're like an addiction. The arousal that's created from living in that emergency state consumes an enormous amount of the body's energy for some threat or some danger in the outer environment, and there's no energy in the inner environment for growth and repair. And the long-term effects of living in survival, and remember, stress is when your brain and body are knocked out of homeostasis. It's knocked out of balance. So the long-term effects of living in that chronic state of stress, the body's constantly in imbalance, and that imbalance becomes a new balance. Now the person's headed for disease because no organism can live in survival or emergency for an extended period of time. It'll consume all its energy. There's no vital force for growth and repair, for long-term building projects. So I started really studying what stress does. And you could have the perfect diet and take all the vitamins and all the peptides and time it all. And you can do, high-intensity training and fasting and yoga and massage and chiropractic and acupuncture. But if you're living in constant fear emotionally and you're thinking about your problems,